Imagine spending like 5 years just completely mastering English grammar.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge undertaking.
Right. You memorize the rules, you perfect your pronunciation, you finally know how to flawlessly deploy the phrase, hello, how are you? I am doing quite well, thank you.
Textbook perfection.
Exactly. And then, brimming with confidence, you log on to Instagram or YouTube, and suddenly...
You're completely lost.
Yes. You feel like you're reading an entirely different language. You see a video of a cat, and the top comment just says, bro, understood the assignment. No cap, I'm dead.
Yeah, which is just word soup if you're not used to it.
Total word soup. You're left sitting there wondering if you accidentally downloaded a dictionary from another dimension, you know?
It's incredibly disorienting for anyone stepping into those digital spaces. I mean, you're looking at familiar English letters and words, but the syntax, the context, and the underlying, like, cultural mechanics, they operate on an entirely different frequency.
Yeah, totally different wavelength.
Right. If you're only looking at the static, textbook version of a language, the modern internet is just going to feel completely alien to you.
So for you listening, whether you're trying to decipher a text message from a younger relative, or you just want to understand a viral video without feeling totally out of the loop, well, we're going to fix that.
We definitely are.
Today's deep dive is pulling from a masterclass source titled English You Need for Instagram and Social Media. Our mission is to decode this modern internet slang, providing some really simple examples for absolute beginners while also, looking under the hood at how this language actually works.
Which is fascinating, honestly.
Okay, let's unpack this. Why is there such a massive, seemingly unbridgeable gap between the English we learn in a classroom and the English blinking back at us on our screens?
It fundamentally comes down to what language actually is versus what we pretend it is, We often treat language as this static set of rules trapped in a grammar book, like it's preserved under glass.
Right, like it's a museum exhibit or something.
Yeah, exactly. But language is a living, breathing, highly adaptive tool, and the internet operates at an unprecedented speed. So its native dialect adapts instantly to convey incredibly complex social signals, in-group humor, and personal identity.
Which changes every day.
Literally every day. We're observing the evolution of language in real time, accelerated by algorithms and screen time. You simply can't grasp modern culture if you dismiss the digital dialect as just bad English.
That makes total sense. So let's start with the foundational building blocks of that dialect. Before we get into how people talk to each other, we have to look at how they describe their own internal feelings online.
The personal modifier.
Yeah, I like to think of these as the emotional volume knobs of the internet. The source material highlights a massive one. Lowkey.
Yes, Lowkey. Written as a single word, it translates roughly to secretly, or just a little bit.
So for a beginner, what's a good example?
The classic example is, I low-key love this song. It means you secretly enjoy it, perhaps despite yourself. Or you could say, I'm low-key tired, meaning you're slightly fatigued, but not completely exhausted.
I always picture low-key as like a dimmer switch for your feelings. You're expressing a thought without fully committing to the consequences of that thought.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, you crack the door open to an opinion rather than kicking the door down. But I have to ask, why the constant need to hedge? Why not just say, I like this song?
Well, what's fascinating here is how that reveals the psychological pressure of the internet. When you post an opinion online, it's permanent and it's public.
The receipts are always there.
Exactly. It invites immediate judgment from a global audience. So saying low-key is a protective mechanism. If you say you low-key, like a polarizing movie, and the comment section attacks you for it, well, you have built-in plausible deniability.
Because you only low-key liked it.
Right. It lowers the stakes of human interaction in an environment where the stakes often feel artificially high.
That is so interesting. And it makes the opposite term, Highkey, feel incredibly vulnerable.
Oh, entirely.
Because if low-key is the dimmer switch turned down, Highkey is ripping the knob off and flooding the room with light. It means openly, strongly, or unapologetically.
It's a perfect contrast. Like, I Highkey want pizza right now. You're bypassing subtlety entirely. It's a broadcast of pure, unedited desire or opinion.
So that's the volume of our feelings. Let's look at how people express truth. This brings us to a phrase that is absolutely everywhere right now. No cap.
Yes, no cap.
The source explains that no cap translates to no lie or honestly. So for an absolute beginner, an example would be, this is the best coffee ever, no cap, meaning I am completely serious.
Exactly.
But I have to push back on this one. Why invent a phrase like no cap when you could just say honestly or seriously? I mean, it takes the exact same amount of syllables. It doesn't save any time at all.
And this raises an important question about the utility of slang. Slang is rarely just about efficiency. It's primarily about signaling in-group belonging.
Okay, signaling.
Yeah. Saying a no cap doesn't just communicate that you're telling the truth. It communicates that you're telling the truth in the shared cultural dialect of the internet.
Oh, see.
It signals to the reader that you're plugged in. You understand the modern cultural landscape. It's basically a linguistic secret handshake.
The secret handshake. I love that. And when you want to praise someone in that same shared dialect, the source points us to the word slay.
Slay, yes.
As a beginner, if you see someone comment slay on a photo, it means they're telling that person they did an amazing job. Like, girl, you slayed that outfit, meaning you looked absolutely incredible.
But notice how aggressive the origin of that word is. To slay is literally to kill or destroy.
Right, it's super violent.
But in this digital context, the violence is inverted into the highest form of active praise. You didn't just wear an outfit, you conquered the concept of fashion for the day.
You conquered it.
Yeah.
And the vocabulary for praising yourself is just as physical. Like, if you want to show off online, you flex. If someone says, bro is flexing his new iPhone, they mean he's showing it off to get attention. It takes the physical action of flexing a bicep, to show physical dominance, and applies it to material wealth or social accomplishments.
We've basically taken a biological metaphor and turned it into literal internet vocabulary. It perfectly encapsulates the performative nature of social media.
And that performative nature brings us right to our next section. We've looked at how individuals measure their own feelings. Let's move out of the individual's head and into the public square.
The arena of reactions.
Exactly. The comment sections and the direct messages.
Because the public square of the internet is where language becomes highly interactive and often highly judgmental.
Very judgmental. In the comment section, there seems to be this ultimate binary of internet judgment. Like, everything, absolutely everything is either a W or an L.
The ultimate scoreboard.
Yeah. For beginners, W is simply short for win, meaning something good happened. L is short for loss, describing a bad or embarrassing moment. The source gives very straightforward examples. Getting free food is a W.
Right.
But forgetting your wallet is an L. But hold on, doesn't reducing the complexity of human life to a binary win or loss just strip away all the actual nuance of our experiences?
Oh, it strips away all the nuance, yes. And that is exactly the point.
Real.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the internet loves to gamify reality. It takes the messy, complicated gray areas of everyday life and forces them into a simple, easily digestible sports score.
Wow, yeah.
Your outfit, your lunch, your career choices, they're constantly being tallied on a global scoreboard. Calling a minor inconvenience an L is a way of distancing yourself from the embarrassment by turning it into a joke for the audience.
And the audience is always watching. And when that audience highly approves of something, they get incredibly dramatic about it.
They really do.
One of the best phrases from the text is, bro understood the assignment. If you're new to this, that phrase means someone executed something perfectly. The script uses the example of, like, incredibly good video editing. That editing is insane. Bro understood the assignment.
Right, which frames the entire world as a classroom.
Yeah, where we're all just trying to get an A+ from our peers.
It implies that there's an unspoken cultural standard, an assignment that everyone is aware of, and when someone exceeds that standard, especially in a funny way, you encounter the ultimate internet exaggeration. I'm dead.
That meme is hilarious. I'm dead.
I mean, obviously, nobody actually died.
Let's hope not.
Right. This is the natural evolution of laughing out loud, or LOL. The internet demands escalation. Saying you laughed is no longer potent enough to convey extreme amusement.
So you have to die.
Exactly. To break through the digital noise, you have to claim that the humor was so overwhelmingly powerful, it literally ended your life.
Peak drama. But the comment section can be just as brutally dismissive as it is supportive. If the internet disapproves, you'll likely encounter the phrase, "This ain't it."
Ouch. Yeah.
For a beginner, this just means something is bad, or to use another piece of slang, cringe, like, that hairstyle ain't it. 4 little words, and your new haircut is entirely invalidated.
And the power of "this ain't it" lies in its brevity. It doesn't bother to offer constructive criticism.
No, not at all.
It doesn't explain why the hairstyle is bad. It just issues a final, authoritative verdict and moves on.
Which is terrifying, honestly. Well, let's step away from the public comments and slide into private conversations. The direct messages, or DMs.
This is a totally different space.
It really is. The source material notes a massive shift in how we greet each other. Like, if you rely on your textbook, you type, hello, how are you? But real DM culture just throws the textbook out the window.
The reality of the inbox is far more casual and heavily compressed. Formal greetings are replaced by hey with like multiple Y's to indicate warmth, or simply yo or sup.
Yeah, and you never reply with I am well. You say, can't complain, or just chillin'. And people rarely just say hello out of the blue anymore. They use content as conversation starters.
Right, like reacting to a story.
Exactly. Saw your story, lol, or your reel was funny. Now, NGL, when I first looked at an inbox full of TDH and IMO, it looked like absolute alphabet soup to me.
Well, let's decode that alphabet soup for the listener, because acronyms are really the engine of private digital communication.
Okay, so if you're an absolute beginner, here's your cheat sheet. TBH stands for, to be honest, as in TBH, your content is underrated.
A classic.
IMO is, in my opinion, like, IMO, this song is better. NGL, which I just used, means not gonna lie. NGL, this is expensive. And FR stands for real, meaning truthfully, that food looks good for I.
Right.
So we know what they mean. But why the obsession with acronyms? We have full keyboards on our phones now. It's not like the old days of T9 texting.
We have keyboards, but the physical medium has completely changed the rhythm of communication. We went from typing with 10 fingers on a desktop to typing with 2 thumbs while walking down the street.
Oh, that's true.
The speed of digital communication forces language to compress itself. Acronyms keep the conversational rally going at a rapid-fire pace. If you take the time to type out, to be honest with you, the moment might have already passed.
It's linguistic efficiency born from thumb fatigue. I get that. But private messages aren't always a rapid-fire rally. Sometimes the rally just stops.
Abruptly.
Yeah. The script introduces a term that perfectly captures the modern brutality of digital communication: ghosting. For our beginners, ghosting means suddenly stopping all replies and messages without any warning. Why are you ghosting me? Everything seems fine, and then poof, silence.
It's awful.
But wait, haven't people always ignored each other? Why do we need a new word for it?
People have always ignored each other, yes. But in the past, physical distance naturally explained a lack of communication.
Like they're not home to answer the phone.
Exactly. Today, we know the other person has their phone. We can see the read receipts. We can see their little green dot showing they're online.
Oh, the dreaded green dot.
Ghosting describes the unique, very modern psychological pain of being digitally ignored when you know connection is instantaneously possible. The silence is loud.
That is a harsh reality to face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, here's where it gets really interesting. We've covered the direct comments and the private DMs. But the deepest layer of internet slang isn't about specific actions at all. It is entirely abstract. We are entering the realm of the vibe shift.
Oh, I love this part. This is where the language becomes highly conceptual. We stop talking about what people are doing and start defining the atmosphere they're projecting.
And the heavyweight champion of this category right now is POV, which stands for point of view. If you open Instagram Reels or TikTok, this is inescapable.
It's everywhere.
The beginner example is a video text overlay that says, POV. You finally finish your assignment at 2 a.m. It usually shows a video of someone looking exhausted but relieved.
What's happening mechanically here is fascinating. It's a forced empathy machine.
A forced empathy machine.
Yeah. By labeling it point of view, the creator is commanding you to step inside their subjective experience. It's a first-person camera angle applied to an emotional state.
It hacks your empathy. I totally see that. Then we have a phrase used to describe the specific vibe of a person or place. It's giving. The example is, it's giving rich lifestyle, meaning it projects the exact atmosphere of wealth.
Yes.
I love this phrase because I realize it functions exactly like a wine sommelier's tasting notes.
Oh, how so?
Well, a sommelier sips wine and says, this is giving notes of oak and blackberry. On the internet, you look at a friend's oversized sunglasses and say, it's giving 1990s pop star.
Yeah.
You're trying to capture an intangible essence.
That is a brilliant analogy. You're diagnosing an aesthetic. And this obsession with capturing an essence extends to how people measure their own social weight, too. The masterclass highlights the phrase, main character energy.
Yes. For our beginners, main character energy describes someone with a confident, self-assured, almost cinematic vibe. The classic example is walking in the rain with your headphones on.
Staring dramatically out a bus window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder, isn't main character energy just a polite way of describing extreme narcissism.
It walks a very fine line, honestly. If we look closely, it reveals the psychological panopticon of social media.
The panopticon.
Yeah, the internet encourages every single user to view themselves as the star actor in a movie that everyone else is watching. Having main character energy means you are deliberately curating your actions, knowing there is an audience. It's self-confidence, but it's a highly produced form of self-confidence.
A produced confidence. And a word closely tied to that cinematic presence is aura. Aura describes someone's powerful, unseen energy. Like, that guy has powerful aura.
It sounds almost mystical.
It does. Like we're evaluating each other's spiritual power levels.
Yeah.
But of course, the internet is quick to humble you. If your aura is lacking, you might be hit with one of the most devastating words online. Mid.
Oh, mid. Which simply means average or unimpressive. Like, the movie was mid.
But why is mid such a devastating insult? It doesn't even say you're terrible. It just says you're okay.
Because in the attention economy of the internet, being terrible still gets you noticed. Being terrible goes viral.
That's true.
Being mid, being completely average and forgettable, is the ultimate failure. It means you failed to generate an emotional reaction. You are invisible.
That is deeply bleak. And if you believe you have main character energy, but the rest of the world thinks you're mid, you might be suffering from our next word, delulu.
Galulu.
For the absolute beginner, delulu is a playful, shortened version of the word delusional. Like, I'm delulu enough to believe I'll become rich overnight.
But notice how it's used, though. It's almost always self-aware. People call themselves delulu. It's a coping mechanism. The world is overwhelming, so people consciously lean into a slightly delusional fantasy because it provides comfort.
Ah, I see. But when that fantasy detaches you completely from reality, the internet steps in with a prescribed remedy, the ultimate reality check. Touch grass.
A very necessary phrase.
It's a command to log off, go outside, and live real life.
Yeah.
The source gives a perfect scenario. You've been gaming for 15 hours. Touch grass.
It's a striking piece of slang because it represents the internet policing its own extreme usage. It acknowledges the physical toll of digital obsession. Put the controller down, step away from the glowing rectangle, and go physically ground yourself in the actual earth.
Okay, so we've explored how everyday users measure their feelings, judge each other, and project their vibes. But to truly understand the English of social media, we can't just look at the users. We have to look at the architecture of the internet itself.
Right.
We need to shift our focus to the people who profit from this language.
So we're moving away from personal expression and into the business speak of the digital age.
Exactly. For a beginner, if you want to understand who is driving these cultural conversations, you need to know the term content creator. A content creator is simply the person making the media you consume. She's a fashion content creator.
They make the videos, write the posts, design the memes.
Yeah, and their ultimate goal is usually to get you to buy something or visit their platform. Which brings us to the phrase link in bio.
Which is really just a structural workaround. On platforms like Instagram, you can't place a clickable hyperlink in the caption of a standard photo. So creators place their primary link on their main profile page, their bio.
So you'll hear, new course available, link in bio. It's the digital equivalent of a billboard directing you to the nearest exit.
That's exactly what it is.
Another business term woven into everyday posts is collab, short for collaboration. We're doing a collab next week. Two creators join forces to cross-pollinate their audiences. Now, what are all these creators actually chasing? They're chasing the machine. They want experience going viral.
Going viral, meaning achieving massive, rapid, exponential attention online. A piece of content spreads from person to person like a biological virus.
To go viral, you need engagement. For our beginners, engagement refers to the measurable interactions on a piece of content. The likes, the comments, the shares, the saves. This post has crazy engagement.
The currency of the internet.
Yes. In all of this, the virality, the engagement, your entire digital reach is controlled by the invisible boss of the internet, the algorithm.
The algorithm is the underlying automated mathematical system that platforms use to decide which content to show to which users.
You hear people say, the algorithm is weird today, or the algorithm is punishing me. Creators talk about the algorithm the way ancient farmers talked about the weather gods.
It's so true. It's an unseen force that dictates their entire livelihood. And if the algorithm decides a certain slang word is inappropriate, it suppresses the video. So creators invent new slang to bypass the algorithm. And this is the most profound takeaway of all, I think. If we step back and look at this vocabulary engagement, algorithms, virality, creators, we realize that highly technical corporate marketing terminology has completely invaded everyday conversational English.
It really has.
Teenagers will sit in a coffee shop and analyze the engagement metrics of a video they posted of their dog.
It is wild. We are talking about our personal social interactions using the language of corporate executives in a boardroom. We've gamified and commercialized our own social lives.
We absolutely have.
So what does this all mean for you listening? It means that to speak confidently today, you can't just rely on the textbook. You have to engage with the language people actually use in the wild.
You really do.
Next time you open an app, I want you to change your habits. Don't just mindlessly scroll. Actively observe. Read the comments. Notice how the creators speak to the camera. As the masterclass points out, immersion is the fastest way to naturally improve your modern English.
Because language is absorbed through context, not just memorization. You have to swim in the water to understand the currents.
And our source material left us with a fantastic challenge, which I am passing directly to you. Your challenge today. Try to use one new slang word from this deep dive in a sentence. Try it out in the real world.
I love this.
Text a friend and say, "Getting a good parking spot today was a huge W," or "Look, you need a nap." Test the waters. See how it feels to use the dialect.
But exploring all of this rapid evolution leaves us with a rather provocative question to consider.
Oh.
Well, we began this entire deep dive by contrasting the rigid rules of textbook English with the messy, fast-paced reality of internet slang. We know the digital world is increasingly becoming the primary arena for human interaction. But we also know that artificial intelligence and large language models are currently training themselves on billions of these internet comments, DMs, and viral posts.
Oh, of course. They're reading everything.
They're learning our slang. So 50 years from now, will the dynamic flip? Will artificial intelligence begin generating entirely new slang, optimizing it for algorithmic engagement, and trickling it down for humans to adopt?
Oh, wow.
Will the textbook English of the future be a dialect entirely invented by machines, designed to hack our human empathy? Who will be the ultimate creators of language when the internet officially becomes smarter than the users?
That is, wow. That is a low-key terrifying but high-key fascinating thought to leave you with. Something to definitely chew on next time you check your DMs.